This is question 4, and it's a question about plotting a graph. And in this case, it's a non-linear graph, because we can tell that because it's got a power of 3 there. So that is y equals 5 minus x cubed. So a cubic graph is not going to be a linear graph. And so what we've got to do is, first of all, fill in the table. And so that involves doing substitution into this formula. So for the first point here, we've given the x value, and so we need to work out what would y be when x is minus 2. So what we can do is we can say, well, y is going to be equal to 5 minus, and then we've got to cube negative 2 for the value that's going to go here. And if we do that, we can see that we're going to get 5 minus, and then negative 2 cubed. We know 2 cubed would give us 8, but we need to know what's the sign going to be. So if we think about the fact that a cube is times itself 3 times, so it's actually going to be a negative times a negative times a negative. And thinking about the rule of 2 negatives there making a positive, the first 2 negatives would make a positive, but then we'd be timesing it by the third negative, and actually that would give us negative overall. So the bit in the brackets there, once we've cubed it, works out as being minus 8, and we know we've got a negative and negative next to each other there, so that's actually going to equal 5 plus 8, which is 13. So that's our value that can fit in there. And so I'm just going to make some space again, and we'll work out the next value along, which is for the 0. So it's quite nice to sort of show it by putting the thing we're substituting in, so in this case 0, in a bracket. So there we go. 5 minus 0 cubed. Well, we know 0 cubed is actually 0. So that's going to be 5 minus 0, which is 5. So we can put that in our table. We're now going to look at the next value, and we're going to have, this time, the one that goes in the brackets is the 1. I'm going to cube that. So we've got the 1 cubed is just 1. And we've got 5 minus 1 cubed being 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. So that's the value going there. Then we've got to put in the value of x equals 2 next. And so we can say, well, that's going to give us 5 minus 2 cubed. Now 2 cubed is just 8. So we're going 5 minus 8. And if we think about directed numbers, that's actually going to give me minus 3, because it's going to go down into the negative. So if I started off at 5 and I went down by 8 steps, I'd get to negative 3. So that's the next value there. And then the next thing I've got to do is actually plot these values on this grid. So as it says, from x equals minus 2 to plus 2. So if I go for the first one, these are just a series of coordinates. So that's telling me that x is minus 2, negative 2, when y is 13. So that would give me a coordinate there. That's negative 2, 13. Then if we look at the next one, that's negative 1 and 6. So that's going to go there. The next one, 0 and 5. So the x1 is the horizontal coordinate, which is there, and then 5 is there. And then we've got 1 and 4. So that's going to put me, x is 1, y is 4. And then we've got 2 and negative 3. So there's x is 2, and we've got to come all down to y is negative 3. And then the thing to do is just join them up with as nice smooth curve if we can. It's a bit tricky with a drawing tablet, which is what I'm using. So there we go. And that's it. That's all we're required to do. So I hope that's been helpful to you. And if it has, please consider subscribing to our channel and giving the video a thumbs up. Thanks for watching.